Eric, I know you mentioned some pieces that you're definitely not tapping into. What would those be?
Well, I will say we are in the year 2025. I think last year was the year that Sambas really took over, and I think we're still seeing that they're super popular throughout. I see them everywhere. I see them all throughout. If I'm out and about in New York City, I see them just about on every corner. Everybody's got a pair of Sambas, it seems, and it's not just guys; it's girls included. It's really just a universal type of footwear that I see a lot now.
Low key more girls than guys I see. Yeah, with the Sambas.
Yeah, and it's the George Sambas combination that I see a lot too. So it really goes along with kind of what we were talking about just now. And I think last year as well, maybe even at this point 2 years ago, is when I saw soccer jerseys were kind of becoming just part of just like everyday fashion. And yeah, Dre's wearing one right now, and I've always been a fan of those. I am always happy to see people rocking that. So like, there's jorts with soccer jerseys, which I think I'm all for. But one recent, I think, rise in or one thing that I've seen recently grow in popularity is the Nike T90 footwear to be worn in combination with the jorts, and maybe with a soccer tee here and there. But I think it's also a type of shoe that I see people kind of wear on its own with like a regular tee, like with a regular top. And I will say, like, I grew up playing soccer, and so T90s like hold a very special place in my heart. But seeing them being worn casually, I just don't think I can get with. I'm not like, they're very similar to the Samba in the sense that they have like that narrow shape, but I don't know, man. I think they to just put it plainly, they look ugly to me when they're worn casually. And I think seeing how quickly a thing like an article can just catch fire and become so trendy, I think there's a conversation to be had about how do we feel about people who don't even know that these are soccer shoes and that they're wearing them, and then they're making it part of like their everyday fits, man. How do we feel about that? I don't know if I can speak on it as much. I just will say, as far as how do I think it looks, I'm not a fan of it. You have a lot of people wearing these obscure colors, like it's like you have golden sneakers, you have like I've seen orange T90s, and like I don't know, man. I'm just not a fan of them. But I'm curious, have you guys seen this around? Like, do you guys have opinions?
Yeah. I mean, I don't take issue if people like don't know their soccer shoes. I mean, it's like people wear Jordans and they don't know Jordan, At the end of the day, that's how it's gonna be. I think my issue, I don't even want to say issue, but I mean, it's the Samba that started this whole trend, because the Samba originally, was a bit of a soccer lifestyle shoe. And now we're going even further into the niches of like looking at archival sportswear shoes, so specifically and more recently soccer, like indoor soccer shoes. Dance, like ballet shoes has been a big thing too. If you've seen Bad Bunny's collaboration with Adidas, I mean, it's literally called the Ballerina. I think like it's based off of that. A lot of low profile shoes right now are trending. And for me, the T90, like that's kind of pushing the edge of it, because that is really like, wow, okay, we really like can't do anything new and creative and innovative. So we're just going to go all in on this Y2K vibe that has been going on for like 5 years now, it feels like. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of that. I like when companies are able to do like cool twists on these models. A good example would be like the Wales Bonner Adidas collaborations, where they've taken these archival sportswear models and used really interesting materials or colorways and made it something cool. I just think Nike's been fumbling in general, I feel like, the past couple of years, and them choosing to bring back the T90 and even all the jerseys like with the 90 on it, like it's kind of cool in that, like, oh, back in the day. but then it's also, it loses its luster in the same way. And I'm not saying that as like some type of gatekeeper. I'm just saying it of like, you know, in our current context, that jersey and that look does not have the same vibe as it did back then. So that was a bit of a tangent, but I thought that was important to bring up.
No, fair. I did not know this was a trend. Clearly, like I said earlier, I haven't seen anyone wearing these T90 things. We also haven't been looking out for it. Like the Samba thing. I guess maybe it hasn't gotten to that point yet. Because the Samba, even though I didn't know that was necessarily picking up, I literally.
It's just the TikTok
corner.
kids right now doing the T90s.
Okay,
it's not like on the streets. I haven't seen them on the streets, but I'm telling you, like from what I've seen from like sneaker Twitter and stuff, like Nike's gonna be pumping colorways out. So
okay.
It will come.
And there's always a little delay from the TikTok hype to the on the street hype. So I guess it's coming in the upcoming months. The reason why I was looking around like that because my cleats were actually T90 cleats, but I realized those are my OPs. The one in my rooms are like Tiempo, so I couldn't find them. I was gonna hold them up, but you know, even then I had those T90 cleats. I loved them. I loved them so much. But they didn't look good. Like I'm not gonna lie, they did not look good. Like they were functional, but they did not look good at all. They had a soft spot for me because those were my first cleats. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I would not. Those weren't shoes. There weren't cleats that I was like popping out. You know the kids who pop out and they wearing like the pink cleats or the bright yellow cleats or whatever, or like the Mercurials. Everyone wants a Mercurial. The Mercurial looks beautiful. But no one was like hype over that, at least when I was wearing them, because that was like 10 years ago, even though the T90s were popular like 20 years ago. So it wasn't really hitting like that. So I'm surprised that this is popping up as a trend. I'm gonna check it out after the pod to see exactly what the shoes that people are rocking like that. I think this is gonna be one of those, like the Samba. That's a timeless shoe. I think even though it's hype right now, it makes sense because that's always been a good looking shoe. The same way like the Air Force One, when every girl was beating those into the ground, and then the Superstars before that, and everyone was beating those into the ground. Those are timeless silhouettes. The T90, I think that's going to be one that won't last as long, and two, in a few years when people look back, they're going to be like, really, why was I wearing the T90s? Like I was really just on the hype train. But I think Samba, you can look back and be like, okay, that was still a good shoe that I could still wear now or whatever. I think that's really one that's not going to last super long in the T90.
Yeah,
how do y'all
and it's
feel
also
about
like, oh sorry, one more thing is like, it's also the T90 is like such a shoe that's like, it's like such synthetic leather, just the look of it and the colors, like it's just like it doesn't give that timeless vibe like with the material quality of it either, which I think, you know, is important for a shoe to be a real staple, like a Jordan 1, for example.
Yeah.
Fire. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Jordan 1's universal, man. That's the footwear you'll be seeing me wear for my entire life. But I was just gonna say we were talking about like sneakers that have like a stand that like don't stick around for too long. You guys remember when the Filas, the bulky Filas were like in style? Like that's so crazy looking back on now, because that's like
because people couldn't buy Yeezys, man. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeezy brought the chunky shoes in, and Filas were the affordable, easy option.
Horrible, terrible. But yeah, you know, it's crazy. It's funny, but hey, it is what it is, man.
T90 will be the Fila, low key.
I think it's more on that wave. It's definitely more on that wave, and I think you'll know once you see every girl wearing them outside. You're like, okay, this one's it's done. And I think that one's gonna happen quickly. It's gonna start happening, and then it's gonna be over super quickly. As soon as like the everyday girl who's not really into fashion like that is wearing it, and then I notice that they're wearing them constantly, that's how you know the trend's on the way out. So soon, probably by the end of July, mid-August or something, every corner you're gonna see the girl wearing them, and then by September we're on to the next. Let's be real.
When these people are buying these in the store, they got to be forced to like juggle the ball like 10 times or something.
That would be honestly, that would be a good marketing tactic, and two, that'd be kind of funny. Funny.